I purchased this model back in probably the year 2000. God, I don't even remember buying the thing, but I've had it sitting around for quite a while. I haven't built a model car since I was probably less than 16 years old, so I figured time to do it again. This is a platinum kit with a pre-painted metal body and a snap together build. It needs minimal glue and you can paint it or not, and I'm probably not going to paint it. I use a pair of scissors to cut this open, and it's not too easy to cut open. Well, finally got it open. Let's get the stuff out of here and see what we got. I always liked the original GTOs, even the later models, but the original just had a special look to it. You know, look at it and you know it's a GTO. I really do like the metal body, and it's got quite a nice paint job, and I like the color too, and that stripe on the side would be tough to put on, so I'm glad it's on there. Here's the underside of the body. You can see it's got opening hood and an opening rear trunk, and I'll show it, but the two doors open too. Here are the 4 tires. This is one of them, but we'll pull the rest of them out. There's really not a whole lot of parts to this thing. This is the engine and some of the steering parts. On this parts tree is the bucket seats for the car. Pretty basic. On this tree is the interior door parts and the dashboard for the car. The interior and chassis of the car comes apart. It snaps together real easy, and there's nothing really that goes on it while it's apart, so you just kind of snap it together. It's a really simple design. This is one of the chrome trees. This one has the rear bumper and some engine parts, and looks pretty nice and shiny. The second chrome parts tree. This one has the front bumper, headlights, grille, all that stuff, steering wheel, center console, mirror, and rear view mirror. This is the bag with the decals and the spare tire, the engine spark plugs, and some other engine parts. Well, there's all the parts laid out that came in the box. Here's the other kits that are available. The only date I could find on the package was the year 2000, so that's probably right around the time I bought it. Here's some photos of the finished model for reference. The instructions are pretty basic. It just goes through some of the washes and what the symbols mean on the actual instructions that are just pictures and numbers. So you got to kind of figure it out from there. So what I'll do is interpret it my best, and we'll go down the list and start at number 1 and work our way up to, I believe, step 39. And then you put the decals on, and some of the parts you got to put the decals on sooner because it'd be hard to get to after it's put in place. Step 1, you take the 4 spark plug wires and put them coming out of the engine block on each side as shown. Pull the spark plug wires out of the decal bag and untwist them. Use my little cutter snips to cut out one side of the engine block. And cut out the other side of the engine block. There are 4 spark plug wires, so if you put them in 2 at a time coming out, it makes 8, 4 on each side for a V8 engine, and they can be rather hard to get in that little hole, but we'll get it. And that's what it looks like. Just do that for the other side, and you put them together. This is one of the places that they say to use the glue. My tube of glue is rather old, but I think it still works. It was just rather gummy. After gluing, just kind of pop the 2 together and then adjust your wires to make sure they're straight. Man, looking pretty good. And that is your engine block with spark plug wires, ready to get wired up. Next, we cut out the engine manifold covers that are chrome. Use glue to attach the valve covers to each head of the engine. Next is step 6, where you place the wires into the back of the block. You get the wires in the hole, you do it for each one and get them bent back there. And once you get them in place, they look like this. These next steps cover 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on the engine. Part 7. Part 8, the fan belt. And part 9, the fan. Part 10, the carburetors. Part 11 is a little foam thingy that goes around the carburetors. Again, using my old gummy glue. And after putting glue on it, take part number 7, the water pump, and place it on the front of the engine. After gluing part 8, which is the fan belt, place it onto the water pump. After gluing part number 9, which is the fan, place it on the front of the belts. Looks pretty good for a very minimal of parts. More gummy glue. And you pop the carburetors right into the top of the engine with a pop. Part number 11, which I believe is the air filter, looks like to me. So you put it around the carburetors like this. You take the completed engine and put it in the chassis. The instructions weren't really clear if you should use glue or not, so I did anyways just to be safe. Just pop the engine in and you're ready to go. Snip off part 13 times 2. I was wrong before. You got to put these parts on before you put the frame and interior together. I found it best to put the body together, leave the front end a little loose, then pop these things in. And it was a lot easier than trying to get the whole thing together at one time. This shows you how to put part 15, the steering assembly, together. Part 15 just snaps up into your axles and that's your steering system. Parts 16, 17, and 18, basically the wheels and tires, and then you snap them onto the chassis. Clip out the center console and the stick shift, 19 and 20. I decided to switch glues because that other glue is just too darn gummy. Apply glue and put in the console and the stick shift. I'll tell you what, the thing that gave me the most trouble in this car was the damn seats. The seats didn't really fit in the holes too good, and anytime you went and did anything else on the car, even though they were glued in, they would still come loose and move out of the way, so really irritating. Put together the front dash 25, 26, 27. Snip off number 25, the steering column. Snip off part number 27, the chrome steering wheel. And that's how it goes together, but it'll come apart in the future. I put the dash in, but as I discovered later, I'm going to have to remove it and then put it back in again. Well, that's the car completed through step 29. Just got to go to 39. 10 more steps to go. It's time to do the decals. I'm going to put the dash decal on first. These slide-on decals, they're easy and hard. I just hate the real small ones getting them on, and I screwed up a couple of them, I'll have to admit. I got it on there, but it's tough. You got to get it centered and get the excess water out of it so it doesn't slide around more. But it's on there pretty good. I use a Q-tip to dry it off and kind of set the decal into place. It works all right. I missed a step, part 24 and 25, the spare tire, but we'll put it in. It's part 30 times 2, both doors, the left and the right. This one we're putting in the left. And we'll go ahead and snap in the passenger door. We'll put the body on the chassis here. It kind of slides on pretty good. And then there's 4 screws on the bottom that kind of hook it together. There are 4 Phillips head screws. Just put them in there and tighten them all up. I've made some mistakes along the way, but I corrected them and it's coming together pretty good. So just got to get the bumpers and the grill and all that rest of that stuff on. The tough part I was having here was getting the steering wheel on the column to go in all the way. It just wouldn't. I got the steering wheel on there, but it never went on as far as I feel that it should have. Part 34, the rear bumper, place it on the car. Here's a mistake. I put this thing on 180 degrees backwards, but it was easy to fix. There's 4 headlights, number 36. You stick them in the grill and then put the grill into the car. And place the 4 little plastic headlights into the grill. It recommended the use of glue on the front grille. After I glued the grill on, I couldn't close the front hood, and I discovered that piece was on backwards, so I had to turn it around, and it works fine. Next, put on the outside rearview mirror. And you just pop the outside rearview mirror into the hole and it snaps right in. We put in the exhaust pipes. It's number 39 and there's 2 of them. You pop in both the taillights, and that's pretty much all the assembly of the vehicle. All that's left is the decals. The decals I have left to put on are the ones that go on the outside of the body, so relatively easy to get to. I got most of the decals on, but I did kind of screw up on the very back, and you'll see it here. The Pontiac label across the back, I messed up the C. Ah well, things happen. That finishes up the build of the Platinum Series 124 scale 1966 Pontiac GTO by Testors Models. This is a skill level 2, so not really a hard one to build. The hardest thing is just kind of trying to figure out the pictograph instructions that they give you, and just some things aren't very clear. It was a fun build, and if you're really into it, you could really detail it out pretty nice, but I just basically wanted to put it together as the kit came and not really add a lot of painting to it. But the one thing I may do in the future is paint the taillights red, because I think it's just kind of missing that. I can use a red paint pen, but I don't have one right now, so I'll have to go buy one so I can use it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and then if you made it this far, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.